Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to Lewis University Television Network. Today is Thursday, October 30th, 2025. I'm Brandon Najera.
And I'm Christian Kluber.
Tonight, Hurricane Melissa is now crossing through the Bahamas, bringing heavy rain and damaging wind to some of the islands. Meanwhile, Jamaica is starting recovery and restoration efforts. Officials in hard-hit areas are describing a beyond catastrophic level of damage. Authorities in Jamaica have recovered 4 bodies in St. Elizabeth Parish. Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness surveyed damage in the parish of St. Elizabeth. Today, images from the helicopter showed damaged homes, torn-off roofs, and debris littering an entire town. Residents and military personnel pushed more than a dozen ambulances past storm debris in a town of Santa Cruz as the medical convoy headed to a coastal area in western Jamaica. The roads in downtown Santa Cruz are covered with mud and silt. Along with rubble, several ambulances got stuck in the mud. Jamaica Public Service, an emergency utility company, is conducting a damage assessment of the power grid. According to a government spokesperson, out of 77% of the country is currently without electricity.
146 years to life in prison. That's the sentence for a Hollywood producer convicted in the drug overdose deaths of model and her friend. David Brian Pierce was found guilty in their murders back in February and sentenced on Wednesday. Back in November of 2021, 24-year-old Christy Gills and 26-year-old Hilda Marcela Cabrales Arzola were taken to separate hospitals, about 2 hours apart. Gills was already dead after arrival, while Cabrales Arzola was taken off to support by her family later that month. During the trial, Pierce denied that he gave the woman the drugs causing their deaths. He also denied sexually assaulting them or the other woman he accused of harming. Pierce was also convicted of sexual assault charges involving crimes against 7 women between 2007 and 2020. 43-year-old Pierce has been in jail since December of 2021.
A Pittsburgh Penguins fan is in critical condition after falling from the stands during Monday night's game. Authorities said the fall doesn't appear to be suspicious. Around 7:15 Monday night, a man fell from the 200 level down to the 100 level. Now, according to public safety, that man hit another person in the suite level on the way down. Paramedics and the PPG Paints Arena personnel quickly treated the person. The EMS crews took him to UPMC Mercy Hospital with life-threatening injuries. The Penguins say they're monitoring the situation and their concerns are with the man's family. Fans have had concerns about the steepness of the upper bowl, and many feared this could happen.
A charter bus carrying students from 3 Ozark schools crashed in Laclede County, Missouri, injuring several students on Wednesday. The bus was one of 3 traveling to Future Farmers of America convention in Indianapolis when it slid off the rain-soaked highway and landed on its side. Investigators say 4 students and 3 adults suffered minor injuries. Emergency crews transported them to the hospital.
A California woman has been found guilty of stealing chickens from a poultry processing facility. According to the San Francisco Chronicle, Zoe Rosenberg was convicted of felony, conspiracy, and 3 misdemeanors related to stealing the 4 chickens, valued at less than $25. It happened in 2023 at Petaluma Poultry, a division of Purdue Farms. Rosenberg is part of an animal rights group that touts a mission that animals are in need of rescue. Rosenberg turned down a plea deal in favor of a trial with hopes to convince jurors that her group's tactics are justifiable. Up next, international news. Stick with us.
It is a new day for jobs and careers, and the skills needed to compete are rapidly changing. This is why more students are choosing Lewis University. Lewis prepares you for emerging opportunities in some of the most highly sought after fields. Higher education is the most crucial investment you can make in your future. Lewis provides you with a lasting education that will launch you toward success today and strong growing careers of tomorrow. Begin an education that will pay dividends for a lifetime. Learn more at lewisu.edu.
For over 50 years, WLRA has been on air showcasing countless students. As the first all-digital college radio station, Lewis University students are given access to industry-leading equipment. Equipment that commercial stations utilize, equipment that creates, and equipment that brings radio to life.
I like WLRA because it gives me the opportunity to get experience with news broadcasting and working with radio.
Stop by De La Salle 210 or at WLRA Radio to get started on your radio career.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years and I got my 3rd child who was 17 at the time. It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
U.S. President Donald Trump and Chinese leader Xi Jinping have finished their critical trade talks in Busan, South Korea. The two leaders shook hands before exiting the airbase together at Gimhae International Airport on Thursday around 12:50 p.m. local time. As Trump and Xi stepped outside, they shook hands. Again, Xi got into his car and left in his motorcade. Xi will remain in South Korea for a state visit and to attend the main APEC Leaders Summit.
Israeli airstrikes in Gaza have killed at least 91 people, including dozens of children, the deadliest day since the ceasefire began. These strikes came after Israel accused Hamas of killing an Israeli Defense Forces soldier and faking the discovery of a hostage's body. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu ordered immediate, powerful strikes. Hamas called the attack a criminal bombardment and denied violating the ceasefire. Hospitals in Gaza report a catastrophic situation with dozens of children among the dead and no medical supplies left. The IDF released drone footage claiming to show Hamas staging a hostage body recovery. The Red Cross confirmed it was unaware of any staging. Hamas has since postponed the handover of hostage remains, blaming Israel's violations.
Criminals used a drone to attack security forces during a massive operation in Rio de Janeiro. According to a government spokesperson, authorities in Rio de Janeiro launched a large-scale security operation Tuesday in the city's northern zone to counter the territorial expansion of the criminal organization Commando Vermelho, which reportedly responded with a drone attack. More than 2,500 civil and military police officers are participating in Operation Containment, focused on Alameo and Penha complexes. At least 23 individuals have been arrested at this point. Authorities said in retaliation, criminals used drones to attack police forces in Penha complex, sharing video footage of a drone firing a projectile from above. The statement didn't detail the extent of the damage or casualties. Governor Claudio Castro described the situation as a reflection of the scale of threat, saying it's no longer ordinary crime, but narco-terrorism. He urged residents in the areas affected to remain indoors for their safety. The operation involved the use of drones, 2 helicopters, 32 armored vehicles, 12 demolition units from Military Police Special Operations Support Unit, and ambulances from the Rescue and Relief Group. Authorities also reported the seizure of at least 10 rifles during the ongoing operation.
Amazon may have layoffs in the United States, but it's investing heavily in South Korea. Amazon announced plans to invest more than $5 billion in South Korea. That's in addition to $4 billion it previously pledged. All this money is going to AI data centers for AWS, that's Amazon Web Services, the retailer's cloud computing arm. The same AWS that suffered a massive outage earlier this month and knocked much of the internet offline. More AI adoption is the reason why Amazon is giving its plan to cut 14,000 staffers in the US.
Going to the polls to vote isn't boring in some parts of the Netherlands. In the city of Arnhem, a museum hosted a voting event at the stroke of midnight, and Mayor Ahmed Marcou served as DJ. Around 700 people showed up, exceeding the 150 expected by organizers. According to the RTL Netherlands, these legislative elections promise to be particularly exciting. 5 major parties are closely tied to the polls, and a large portion of the voters are still undecided. Next up, your local news. Stay with us.
It is a new day for jobs and careers, and the skills needed to compete are rapidly changing. This is why more students are choosing Lewis University. Lewis prepares you for emerging opportunities in some of the most highly sought after fields. Higher education is the most crucial investment you can make in your future. Lewis provides you with a lasting education that will launch you toward success today and strong growing careers of tomorrow. Begin an education that will pay dividends for a lifetime. Learn more at lewisu.edu.
Getting in the Halloween spirit, a local organization, Turning Point, held a pumpkin race to raise awareness for autism. With Christian Kluver has the story.
At Rotary Hill Park in Naperville, family and friends gather to put a creative spin on fall fun. Rolling pumpkins decorated for Halloween down the hill. It's all for Turning Point Autism Foundation, a great way to bring the Naperville community together. Every fall, the Turning Point Pumpkin Races brings out family, friends, and first-time racers, all ready to test their decorated creations down the track.
Great cause for Turning Point. We just love to support Turning Point, and we're all kind of creative, so we love decorating the pumpkins every year and racing.
Some racers showed off their artistic side, from Frida Kahlo to Freddie Frankenstein, each design as unique as the family behind it.
Mine's Frida Kahlo, and she's an artist, and I love art, and so I want to do something different and unique this year.
And then what about you?
I have Freddie Frankenstein. I just wanted to do something fun and scary, so.
However, not every entry makes it far.
It was undercover watermelon. They took it and they smashed it.
But win or lose, it's all for a good cause.
Every pumpkin racing kit, which includes axles and wheels to literally race your pumpkin derby style, is created by an adult with autism who's employed in our employment program. So by participating today in the races, you're giving an adult with autism a job, which is amazing. And not only here in Naperville, but we ship these kits countrywide.
Since starting 9 years ago, the event has grown into a community celebration of inclusion, where everyone can compete side by side.
This is a very inclusive event. So our friends with autism, family members with autism can participate, young and old can participate, everyone can be a part of the pumpkin race, which is also important because we want the community to connect with us. Too often families on the journey with autism feel very isolated, and this is a chance for us all to be part of the community.
From hand-painted genies to M&M pumpkins, participants with autism say they just love being a part of the fun.
Let's get this party started!
Whether it's speed, creativity, or community, the Turning Point Pumpkin Races roll into fall with heart and inclusion. Reporting from Naperville, I'm Christian Kluver, LUTV.
Well, thank you, Christian. I hope our pumpkin did well.
Ugh. I wish I could say that it did better, Brandon.
Well,
we put the wheels on it, but the wheel was a little askew, so when we rolled it off of the hill, I'm just fumbled right off. But it was interesting to watch everybody else's pumpkin, and obviously this was such a great event for the Naperville community. It brings everybody together and obviously supports such a great cause. It's fascinating to even find out where this event came from. It came from this man that ended up doing it from a different part of the country, and he brought it to Naperville, and apparently there are so many other pumpkin races across the country. So great event, and it gives people with autism jobs, which is what it talked about in the news package as well. I think it was, I don't remember the exact number, but so many people that have autism put the kits together, which were used for the pumpkin racing, and it was, again, just a great way to bring the community together, great event, and very supportive for the community.
Wow.
The Lockport Police Department is reminding families to stay safe this Halloween with a new list of safety tips. Police urge drivers to slow down, be alert for trick-or-treaters, and avoid distracted driving. Official trick-or-treat hours in Lockport will be held from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Halloween night, October 31st. Officers will also be out in the neighborhoods with the Zombie Police Squad, handing out candy and taking photos with kids. Authorities say awareness and preparation are the best ways to ensure everyone has a safe and fun night.
Siegel's Cottonwood Farm in Lockport has been named one of the top 3 underrated pumpkin patches in the United States. The farm offers pumpkin picking, corn mazes, a haunted barn, and family activities every day through November 2nd. The family-owned farm has been operating for more than 30 years and draws visitors from across the Chicagoland area. Organizers say this national recognition helps promote local agritourism and community spirit. Fall fun, photo ops, and fresh cider are all waiting for visitors this weekend.
The village of Romeoville began pavement stripping operations this week to repaint stop bars and crosswalks ahead of the Halloween cruise, are working north of Normantown Road and will continue south through main traffic areas. The project aims to improve nighttime visibility and pedestrian safety during busy fall events. Officials ask drivers to use caution around the work zones as lane adjustments may occur. The refreshed stripping is part of an ongoing effort to keep Romeoville's streets safe and well marked. Up next, entertainment with Michelle Stahl.
The The Ray Strong Foundation was created about 4 years ago. It came after, as a couple, we had our first child. She was born at 24 weeks. She weighed 1 pound, 12 ounces. Then she proceeded to spend another 4 months in the NICU. That was the time that she should have been growing in the womb. During the 4 months, we visited her daily and we got to sit down with the doctors and the nurses, and the amount of medical knowledge and what they can do to make sure that your child survives is amazing. And just the experience, it was nothing we could have ever been prepared for. So emotionally, we became very tied to the micro-preemie world. And that was when we decided to create a foundation with the goal of trying to give thanks back to the NICUs, the nurses, and then also provide any sort of emotional or financial help to other families that might experience what we went through.
We've had the opportunity to host over 40 events, celebrating micropreemies, fundraising, and bringing awareness to micropreemies and their families. When you get a chance, check us out on Instagram, Facebook, or our website at raystrong.org. Donate, and thanks again for all the support.
Thank you.
It is a new day for jobs and careers, and the skills needed to compete are rapidly changing. This is why more students are choosing Lewis University. Lewis prepares you for emerging opportunities in some of the most highly sought after fields. Higher education is the most crucial investment you can make in your future. Lewis provides you with a lasting education that will launch you towards success today and strong growing careers of tomorrow. Begin an education that will pay dividends for a lifetime. Learn more at lewisu.edu.
A Wisconsin dad went all out this Halloween, building an incredible troll costume completely out of eco-friendly materials like bark, sticks, and recycled materials. After 80 hours of work, Elliot Lund hit the streets to troll trick-or-treaters, literally, while showing off his sustainable creation inspired by his hometown's famous troll statue. Meanwhile, in Michigan, teen cancer survivor Jackson Amick turned his haunted house into a fundraiser, a yearly tradition that's raised thousands for kids fighting cancer. And back in Wisconsin, one family's pirate-themed Halloween setup has become the talk of the town, featuring a full-size ship right in their garage. It's safe to say the Midwest is bringing the wow to this spooky season, one costume, haunt, and pirate ship at a time. A certain sparkly vampire is making a comeback. The Twilight Saga is returning to theaters for the 20th anniversary of Stephenie Meyer's first book. The 2008 movie hits screens today and runs through November 6th, with the sequels showing one day each through November 2nd. Over on Hulu, Only Murders in the Building has been renewed for a 6th season, and this time the trio is taking their sleuthing skills overseas to London. And finally, fans of the Beatles will love Man on the Run, a new Paul McCartney documentary about his post-Beatles life and the creation of Wings. McCartney himself is an executive producer, and you can stream it on Prime Video starting February 25th. Sean Diddy Combs officially has a release date from prison. According to the Federal Bureau of Prisons, he's expected to be released on May 8, 2028. A jury reached a mixed verdict in his high-profile trial earlier this year, convicting him on 2 counts of transporting individuals to engage in prostitution, but acquitting him of the more serious sex trafficking and racketeering charges that could have meant life behind bars. Combs was sentenced to just over 4 years, with credit for about a year already served since its 2024 arrest. It's time to do the warp again. The Rocky Horror Picture Show is celebrating 50 years since it first hit theaters back in 1975. Cast members reflected on the cult classic that started it all, a film that's been delighting audiences with its music, madness, and midnight screenings for decades. To mark the milestone, fans can look forward to special events, a brand new 4K Blu-ray release, and even a fresh vinyl edition of this iconic soundtrack. Half a century later, this wild ride of glam, camp, and audience participation is still as unforgettable as ever. You probably know someone who goes all out for Halloween, but one Colorado man takes it to the next level, and for a good reason. Kevin Holt from Cascade has turned his yard into a full-on haunted forest, complete with glowing skeletons and spooky surprises. But his decorations aren't just for fun. Every year, he invites neurodivergent students from the Rise Up School in Colorado Springs to experience the magic for free. For many of these families, it's a rare chance to enjoy Halloween in a way that's comfortable and inclusive. Kevin says seeing the kids light up makes it all worth it, calling it one of the most heartwarming things he's ever done. Up next, Sharon Sharian with health.
Families enjoying the
It is a new day for jobs and careers, and the skills needed to compete are rapidly changing. This is why more students are choosing Lewis University. Lewis prepares you for emerging opportunities in some of the most highly sought after fields. Higher education is the most crucial investment you can make in your future. Lewis provides you with a lasting education that will launch you towards success today and strong growing careers of tomorrow. Begin an education that will pay dividends for a lifetime. Learn more at lewisu.edu.
For over 50 years, WLRA has been on air showcasing countless students. As the first all-digital college radio station, Lewis University students are given access to industry-leading equipment. Equipment that commercial stations utilize, equipment that creates, and equipment that brings radio to life.
I like WLRA because it gives me the opportunity to get experience with news broadcasting and working with radio.
Stop by De La Salle 210 or at WLRA Radio to get started on your radio career.
The Food and Drug Administration announced it will take steps to streamline the process to develop generic versions of complex biological drugs. The changes are meant to accelerate approvals for cheaper alternatives for medications used to treat a wide range of illnesses. That will lead to increased market competition and lower drug costs for Americans. Biologic drugs are developed using living sources such as bacteria, yeast, and animal cells. Biologics have a special pathway to FDA approval. And biosimilars, alternatives to the brand name products, are also treated differently than other generic drugs. The FDA is proposing to allow companies to scale back on the studies and trials needed to prove a biosimilar product is similar enough to an existing FDA-approved product. People who pay for Obamacare coverage may soon experience sticker shock. The price tag on premiums for the Affordable Care Act will rise an average of 26% in 2026, according to analysis from KFF, a nonpartisan health policy research group. This marks one of the biggest increases in more than a decade. In addition to the hike in costs, KFF researchers say the actual amount paid next year will be higher due to the disappearance of enhanced premium subsidies. This expiration of the subsidies is the crux of the fight on Capitol Hill regarding the ongoing government shutdown. ACA open enrollment starts on November 1st. A new study shows common viral infections like the flu and shingles can raise your risk of heart attack and stroke. The meta-analysis reviewed 155 studies spanning decades and found that viral infections can raise the risk of heart disease both immediately after an infection and over the long term. People who caught the flu were up to 6 times more likely to have a heart attack in the month after the infection. And those who had COVID-19 had nearly twice the risk of developing heart disease or stroke compared with people who hadn't been infected. The lead author of the study said, generally, the more severe the viral illness, the greater the risk of cardiovascular complications. And these infections can also worsen existing heart problems. The Food and Drug Administration says a brand of Italian parsley is being recalled. Pacific International Marketing is pulling nearly 500 cases of bulk Italian parsley, saying it may be contaminated with salmonella. The product was shipped to wholesalers in Arizona, California, Florida, Minnesota, Michigan, Georgia, Ohio, and Nevada in late September. While no illnesses have been reported, salmonella can be fatal in children, the elderly, and those with weakened immune systems. Symptoms include fever, nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, and abdominal pain. People who bought the Pacific Italian parsley should throw it away or return it to where they bought it for a refund. Up next, sports with Jaden Elmore.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years and I got my third child who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
For over 50 years, WLRA has been on air showcasing countless students. As the first all-digital college radio station, Lewis University students are given access to industry-leading equipment. Equipment that commercial stations utilize, equipment that creates, and equipment that brings radio to life.
I like WLRA because it gives me the opportunity to get experience with news broadcasting and working with radio.
Stop by De La Salle 210 or at WLRA Radio to get started on your radio career.
Welcome back, Flyers, to this week's weather forecast. We kind of look around the region tonight at our low temperatures. Up north in Rockford, we are going to be sitting around 37. Up in Waukegan, we're going to also be at 37. Down south where we are at, Coal City, Kankakee, we're going to be around 39. Towards the city, 39. Cicero is going to be 41. You head out east towards Indiana, South Bend, LaPorte is going to be sitting around 41. Tonight's high temperatures, same thing, pretty similar all over. Up north is going to be ranging 56 up in Rockford, 54 in Waukegan. Down south where we are, around Joliet is going to be 59. That's where Lewis is at. Out south, we're going to be 55 in Valparaiso, all the way stretching to South Bend. When we look at our radar around tonight, we should be pretty clear. There are some scattered showers out here that might hit us, but should graze over us within over an hour or two. All these storms out south or out east where Cleveland are at are already past us, so we should be all good tonight. Temperature changes around the area, -1 degree in Rockford, 0 where we are at in Joliet, around Lewis between the Cicero area. Out in LaPorte, it is a -5 degree change, and in the city in Chicago, it was only a 2 degree change. And our 7-day outlook for this week. Today it was partly cloudy, 56 degrees is our high and 41 as our low. Halloween weekend, it is looking pretty good. 55 on Friday, 50 on Saturday, and 54 on Sunday. Partly cloudy all of those days, so hopefully we'll have some good weather, and when we get into the nighttime, it won't be too chilly. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we are still going to be partly cloudy out. 59 is our high on Monday, 61 is our high on Tuesday, and 58 as our high on Wednesday. That is all for our forecast for this week. We are going to pass over to Jen Elmore with sports.
The Lewis University men's soccer team fell to McKendree 3-0 on Sunday as the Bearcats struck early and maintained control throughout the match. McKendree opened the scoring less than 3 minutes and with a goal from Lenny Dupuyer, followed by first half tallies from Adam Reiniger and Paul Moody to secure the win. Both teams finished with 6 total shots, but the Flyers were unable to find the back of the net against a strong Bearcats defense. Lewis goalkeeper Jeremiah Higgins played the full 90 minutes and recorded 1 save, while McKendree's Toby Lewis earned the shutout with 2 saves. With the result, the Flyers moved to 4, 5, and 7 overall and 3, 5, and 4 in GLVC play, while McKendree improves to 7, 4, and 4 and 7, 2, and 3 in the conference. Lewis will return home for its Fly as One match against Illinois Springfield on Friday, October 31st. Lewis University's women's volleyball team battled back from a 2-set deficit, but ultimately fell to the University of Indianapolis 3-2 on October 25th at Neil Carey Arena. After dropping the first 2 sets, the Flyers rallied behind strong play from Lauren Buxton and Sarah Newberry to win the next 2, forcing a decisive 5th set. The teams traded points early in the final frame before UND pulled away late to take the set, 15-12, and secure the victory. Buxton led Lewis with a career-high 23 kills, while Lily King also posted career highs with 38 assists and 21 digs. The Flyers finished with a .228 hitting percentage compared to UND's .182 and also recorded 9 more digs than the Greyhounds. With the loss, Lewis moves to 12-10 overall and 3-4 in GLVC play, while UND improves to 16-7 and 6-1 in the conference. The Flyers will take on the McKendree University Bearcats on October 31st at home for a Halloween game at 6 p.m. It was a day filled with hockey on Tuesday as all 32 NHL teams hit the ice. The Chicago Blackhawks took part in this frozen frenzy with a 7-3 win against the Ottawa Senators. This win was celebrated through many milestone moments during the game. Left wing Colton Dash started the scoring for the Hawks with his first goal of the season, giving them a 1-0 lead in the first period. Later on, captain Nick Folgina earned his 600th NHL point with an assist. And finally, center Connor Bedard stole the spotlight, scoring 3 goals for his first career hat trick. After the game, Bedard said it felt special to score a hat trick at a home and appreciated the support from the crowd. The Blackhawks will play again today in Winnipeg against the Jets at 7 p.m. The Toronto Blue Jays are just 1 win away from their first World Series in 32 years. The Blue Jays beat the Dodgers 6-1 in Game 5 of the series in Los Angeles. Toronto rookie pitcher Trey Yesavage threw 7 standout innings, striking out 12 while allowing only 3 hits. He got early offensive support from his teammates as David Schneider and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. knocked back-to-back home runs in the first inning. The Blue Jays now have a 3-2 series lead as the Fall Classic shifts back to Toronto for Game 6 on Friday. That's it for this week in sports. We'll be right back after these messages.
It is a new day for jobs and careers, and the skills needed to compete are rapidly changing. This is why more students are choosing Lewis University. Lewis prepares you for emerging opportunities in some of the most highly sought-after fields. Higher education is the most crucial investment you can make in your future. Lewis provides you with a lasting education that will launch you towards success today and strong, growing careers of tomorrow. Begin an education that will pay dividends for a lifetime. Learn more at lewisu.edu.
For over 50 years, WLRA has been on air showcasing countless students. As the first all-digital college radio station, Lewis University students are given access to industry-leading equipment. Equipment that commercial stations utilize, equipment that creates, and equipment that brings radio to life.
I like WLRA because it gives me the opportunity to get experience with news broadcasting and working with radio.
Stop by De La Salle 210 or at WLRA Radio to get started on your radio career.
That's it for today's news, and as a reminder, you can always keep up with Lewis University Television Network on Instagram, Facebook, and by visiting our YouTube channel. I'm Brandon Najera.
And I'm Christian Kluber. Have a great night and a happy Halloween weekend, and we will see you next week.